Welcome, everyone. What we are watching, episode 42. Joey here, along with my co host. One of the seven dwarfs, Sneezy, is with us today. No, it's actually TJ. How are you, my friend?
I'm laughing, man. You prepared me for the music, but I was just not as prepared as I should have been, and I still got into it, and I was upset with myself about how I got into it. So yeah, good time.
You know what they're going to do is they're going to slip. Like, we're going to get used to this and like, yeah, now this is my jam, and then they're going to bring the old one back, and it's going to be like I'm going to forget to hit record because it's going to be like shame. It's going to be like Game of Thrones. Shame.
Isn't she like she's famous?
It's
The Shame lady.
I just found this out. She played Rebecca on Ted Lasso. And I'm like,
The
Ashlyn,
Shame lady.
I'm like, did you know that? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, well, you didn't tell me when we watched
She's keeping secrets.
I guess so. I guess I should know if somebody says shame.
It's iconic.
It is. We're back. It's been a little bit of a break. I will take it's all on me. A lot of different things going on. And all of that. The good thing I will say about this, TJ, is that now, literally, I think I would have to double check, is that on the What We're Watching channel, I think I'm now missing less than 10 episodes. Because as I'm finding them, I'm like, ooh, I can do it. Because I've got through my phone provider, I now have premium YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I could download it and switch it over, but I'm like, if I can find the original files on the computer, it's easier to just upload it that way. And like I said, I think I'm less than 10 away now. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So, and that's all for you people. And when I say you people, I mean anyone who's not us.
Right. I'm going to say that I meant to say this to you, but if somebody gets this is a look behind the scenes. This is from me because we do a show on the patreon.com/baby kangaroo media, by the way, $5 a month, cough it up. You can find that in your couch cushions. I feel like
I found it in your couch cushions.
I thought it was strange that you lifted up the edge and we're doing that to the couch because shaking the couch down. But we do a show there called the Film Club, the FAP is the other name for it. But we did Tropic Thunder on the first episode, and I allowed TJ to pick the second episode. And I would like to say, on behalf of myself and Tyler, can you pick another film, because that one's not showing anywhere on streaming.
Really?
And neither one of us, I'm like, I could rent it, but I really don't want to even rent it. I could buy it and all of that. So he's like, see if TJ can pick something else. We're talking about the Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
The Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
And I think you have the only DVD available.
I have the only hard copy. I really just wanted to share that movie with you guys because there is a line where someone says that they were referred to as a child as magic bitch. And I really wanted you to enjoy that moment. But if you'll give me about 15 minutes, I'll come up with another film for us.
That's perfectly fine. Like I said, a little bit behind the scenes for anybody who wants to. But look, folks, I'm going to say this. As we're recording this, it is March 31st. We're ending TJ's birthday month. And I know he's sad.
And this is the 42nd episode.
Yeah. So boom. We've reached TJ's age, and my age is coming up in the front glass. But so 3 months we've been up, and folks, I know Patreon. I'm subscribed to Patreons where they have one piece of content a month for the same amount that I am charging. We currently have, as of this morning, I believe if I counted correctly, 18 different pieces of content up there on the Patreon. $5 a month. It's 4 to 5. I drop 4 to 5 pieces of content on there a month. This past month, We've got the Cup of Joe on Patreon. We've got the Super Show. I put up 2 different green rooms. We've got TJ has done the artist corner. We have I release my notes for the Cup of Joe on Patreon. Anything and everything. Book Club Baristas got another episode of that coming up in April. All that just $5 a month. You can't afford not to do it, is what I'm saying, TJ.
The content is there. It's good times. It's me behind the paywall. You know, like that's the best part, because I can't be 1,000% me here,
Right.
but I can over there. So nothing bad to say about here, because I have a great time here, and I appreciate you for tuning in. But it's a different party. That's all. It's a different party.
It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different. It's just different.
It's a different party.
Yeah.
It's Pam and Karen's party in the conference room. It's the party in the break room. It's we're just having a fun time. It's a Benihana Christmas.
And we always say over there, we'll never say over there, happy birthday, Jesus. Sorry your party is so lame. That will never happen over there.
You'll never hear that.
But the reason that we are here today, we're finishing up season 1 of Community, and we'll also talk about where we're going to next, as well as what's happening next episode for this show. We're going to return to the MCU there, but before that, we're going to discuss the last 4 episodes of season 1 of Community, and we're going to start off with The Art of Discourse, the 22nd episode of the first season. It aired in the United States on NBC on April the 29th, 2010. So we're coming up on the 15th anniversary of that at the end of next month. Abed shares with the group his film-inspired social goals for an ideal first year of college, including pantsing. The goal is quickly realized when he and Troy pull each other's pants down. Pierce, eager to participate in the group's fun, proceeds to pull down Shirley's pants, which deeply offends her. When Pierce refuses to apologize, dismissing it as a harmless joke, the group decides to kick him out. However, they soon realize that without Pierce, they no longer have a scapegoat to direct their frustrations at. This leads them to try to convince Pierce to apologize, but when he fails to do so sincerely, Shirley decides to leave the group instead. Ironically, this situation causes Shirley and Pierce to bond while spending time together in the library.
So my question, am I the only person that wondered what kind of drawers Shirley had on in that moment? Like, I feel like that mattered. Like, it's not just enough that she got pants, because yes, that is an embarrassing situation. But I feel like the type of drawers mattered, because Shirley has shown she got a side to her. Right. She puts off the Christian facade, but she has a side to her. You know, so I think it was a thong.
And I'm thinking you're right. It's like the thong, like she could even go the G-string route. Either that or it's all the way over on the other side, and she's wearing like one of those full like magic underwear thing like the Latter-day Saints have. Like she's fully covered.
The borderline granny panties, borderline depends.
Right, like, but all the way up, like it's even a top, like she wears her bra up underneath that. And I feel like either way she could not excuse it, but she could justify it either way to them. Like, no, I need this like for support. Like my, if it was the G-string, it'd be like, I can't like house both of my ample buttocks on that. It's got to breathe or something like that, right? Or you got to cover everything up.
Right. Either way, she's got an excuse. But if they caught her in the thong, she wouldn't acknowledge it, right? Like,
no,
because we notice whenever Britta says or does something whorish, Shirley is very quick to point it out. very eloquently, but yeah, horse. But when she does something or makes a statement, she is not going to defend it. She just ignores it altogether.
It reminds me, I've been meaning to ask my mother about this. I'm going to give you the broad strokes because I've forgotten my grandfather used to work tobacco, and they'd have a family of people coming to help them in the fields and stuff like that. And they were all like very sincere, deep water Baptists until one of them married somebody and he brought a different kind of religion into the family. And they were all like transitioning over to this religion, except for the father. And he would just be sitting there. They'd be talking like where they went to the new religion place and all that. And he's just there picking. He goes, "All y'all going to hell. I don't know why you talking like that." It was cut and dry, TJ. He's like, "Say what you want to. I love all of y'all, but you're going to hell."
Oh man!
And they would try to talk to him about it, like, "No, you'd really like it because of blah blah blah." He goes, "Say what you want to. I don't care what you say. I'm not joining it, and you're all going to hell."
I don't care if they give me a rack of ribs when I walk through the door. I'm not going in.
I think he wouldn't care if they gave him a gold-plated Cadillac and $10,000. He won't going.
He wasn't going. Oh, surely.
Meanwhile, as Troy helps Abed complete his list of social goals, Jeff and Britta find themselves mocked for attending community college by a group of high school students taking early classes at Greendale. Seeking revenge, Jeff decides to seduce the leader's mother. I'm going to tell you what, these kids, they got on my last nerves. I'm like, they did their part really well because I'm like, yep, no.
I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it, like how they were. But I mean, again, it wasn't meant for me to understand because they're not my demo.
Right.
But that's what they do, and it's dumb, and I didn't like it. So yes, they did do the job. They were cast perfectly.
See, and then I would not be able to go to the cafeteria to enjoy some of their delicious chicken that they have that we discussed in the previous episode, and I'd be upset. I'm like, look, I want some chicken tenders, but I can't go when they're there. I'd be over there like, what time do they have their early classes? Because I'm going either before that or after that.
While they're in that class, however I need to, I am not interacting with them because if they come at me with the I'm throwing haymakers. I'm throwing haymakers.
And I'd go to the people that work at the cafeteria. I'm like, look, I have had me a bag of chicken tenders before, and I know when you get down to it, you got the little crispy things at the bottom. There might be a piece of chicken somewhere in it. Just give me all those. I'll pay full price, but I'd rather do that. I'd rather do that than be there when they're there.
We call those the crumbles.
The crumbles. Yeah, give me just a cup of crumbles. His plan initially succeeds, but it backfires when she finds out the truth and begins behaving immaturely, similar to the high schoolers. Now, I'm more upset with her. They're just immature. You know better.
Yeah, you sitting here getting pwned. Pwned. What? Punked and owned? Is it pwned?
Either that or pwned and owned at the same time. This culminates in a mimicry battle between Jeff, Britta, and the high schoolers in the cafeteria, which goes on for several minutes. The battle ends when Shirley and Pierce pants the students, distracting them enough to lose. In retaliation, the high schoolers start a food fight, which happens to be another item on Abed's list of goals. I'm going to tell you what, though. I'm taking my crumbles and I'm leaving.
Oh, man. I won't. Well, first off, I got to make sure that my crumbles are fried hard. But I'm not throwing them. I am taking my cup.
Oh, no.
Quick walking out. Look, if we are at the place where we both graduated from, I'm going out the side door.
You can't go out that way. It'll set the alarm off. We're past that right now. We are past that.
That's it.
In the episode's end tag, Troy and Abed sit in the students' lounge discussing their porn names derived from the name of their grade school and favorite soft drink. What would yours be, TJ?
Okay, so no junk. ACOC Cherry Cola.
Ooh. I can't. Mine would be see, it's not really sexy. It's Warren Coca-Cola.
I had a lot of elementary schools as a kid, so there were several to choose from. But ACOC Elementary, which no longer exists, it's a post office now. I felt like
Right.
that was the one to go with.
That's the same thing I did. Mine was Warren Academy, which no longer exists and is just a empty area now because they even knocked the building down. But
Oh snap! The post office didn't even come there.
the post office. I'm gonna tell you what though. Knowing the place, TJ, I'm gonna have to take you there one day. We're just gonna have to go for a ride in the country. You'd be like, dude, I get it. I wouldn't even go up there to pick up my mail. You won the clearinghouse. Send me the check somewhere else.
I'm not coming to the post office to get it.
I'm not coming to the post office to get it.
That's awesome.
In the episode introduction to film, Pierce mistakenly thought that Shirley was Troy's mother. This is continuity things from there. And the closing sequence mentions that Britta becomes the proud owner of an iPod Nano in 2014. She actually receives it in the season 5 episode Cooperative Polygraphy.
Yeah. The little the little quotes for the characters that we were introduced to, those high schoolers, I thought those were some of the most hilarious. Like somebody lost their doctor's license, whereabouts unknown. I'm like, that is hilarious to me. Good stuff.
All right. And then if this is definitely my favorite episode of season 1, it may be my favorite episode of the series.
It's strong.
Modern Warfare is the 23rd episode of the first season of Community and originally appeared on May 6, 2010 on NBC. In the episode after the dean announces the prize for a friendly game of paintball, Greendale sinks into a state of all-out paintball war with every student battling for supremacy. During the chaos, Jeff's study group teams up in order to last longer in the game. Meanwhile, Jeff and Britta confront their unresolved sexual tension. The episode was written by Emily Cutler and directed by Justin Lin. The episode came third in its time slot and received universal critical acclaim from critics, praising its writing, direction, and performances. It is often ranked among the show's greatest episodes.
Yeah, strong.
Jeff and Britta enter the study room arguing. The rest of the group complains, and Abed explains that Jeff and Britta's sexual tension is dividing the group. Dean Pelton announces a game of paintball assassin with the prize to be determined. Jeff leaves to nap in his car. An hour later, he awakens to a seemingly abandoned campus. A lot happened during that hour.
A lot happened during that nap. That was a Rumpelstiltskin. No, that was a Rip Van Winkle nap right there, man.
Yeah. With paint everywhere. Inside, Leonard attacks Jeff with paintballs. Jeff flees and runs into Abed, who shoots Leonard. Abed takes Jeff to the base he shares with Troy. Abed and Troy explain that the prize, priority registration for classes next semester, caused the game to escalate into an all-out conflict. While they realize only one person can ultimately win, they convince Jeff to join them in order to stay in the game longer by working together. After eliminating the chess team, the three run into Pierce and Starburns. Pierce eagerly betrays Starburns and joins them.
So fast.
Jeff, Troy, and Abed take a bathroom break but find themselves in a trap set by Britta, Shirley, and Annie, who have joined forces. Caught in a Mexican standoff, Abed insists that all 7 of them should work together. The group, newly unified, heads outside where the Glee Club attacks and shoots Troy, Annie, and Pierce before being shot by the other group members.
Pause.
Yes.
Pause. I don't know if you can so eloquently just gloss over that bathroom scene without mentioning the fact that Annie was in the trash. Annie was in the trash. Okay, so Shirley and Britta are smart because they stepped down from the toilet bowl, but Annie, oh Annie, came up out of the trash, and we're gonna get a call back on that one later on. Let's go.
The 4 survivors return to the cafeteria. Shirley says she would use priority registration to take morning classes and spend more time with her sons. Britta proposes that the winner should give the prize to Shirley. Jeff calls Britta phony for her proposal, but before they can keep arguing, the 4 are attacked by disco-themed roller skaters. The study group wins, but Shirley and Abed are eliminated, while Jeff is injured and starts bleeding. In the study room, Britta bandages Jeff's injury, and they each acknowledges the other's good sides. In the heat of the moment, and to serve the rest of the group right, they have sex right there.
Right.
Relieving their tension to serve the group right. It'll serve them right.
It'll serve them right. We just should kiss right now. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you did.
Afterwards, Britta unsuccessfully tries to betray Jeff before Senior Chang, employed by the dean to take out any remaining students, barges into the room. Britta sacrifices herself to eliminate Chang, who reveals there is no priority registration and triggers several paint bombs strapped to his chest. This is my favorite scene of the entire series. Jeff nearly escapes the blast when he jumps out and the whole room just boom
fills up with paint. Yep.
And heads for the dean's office. Outraged, he forces the dean to give him priority registration. Later, Britta and Jeff agree to pretend they didn't hook up, which is almost foiled by Abed's insistence that something has changed.
Something has immediately filling the table and saying something has changed.
Jeff gives the priority registration form to Shirley, surprising Britta. The episode was written by Emily Cutler and directed by Justin Lin, his 3rd directing credit for the season and series. The episode is an affectionate parody of such action movies as Die Hard, Terminator 2, The Matrix, Rambo, Scarface, The Warriors, Hard Boiled, and Battle Royale.
There's no Predator in there?
No. Not on this, but I'm getting a lot of this from Wikipedia and IMDb. So you can go back and edit it. And Predator 2. That's from
Predator 2.
Predator as well, not Predator 2.
We're talking about Carl Weathers, not Danny Glover.
Jesse Ventura ain't got time to bleed. In addition, Abed comments that Jeff and Britta's relationship lacks the heart and soul of Ross and Rachel's relationship from the television series Friends, and that of Sam Malone and Diane Chambers from Cheers. Chang's entry into the fight is reminiscent of Scarface, and his self-destruct is similar to the Predator's demise at the end of the film Predator. So they did mention it. The opening scene refers to 28 days later.
Nice.
While the roller skating disco junkies come and attack the group, Shirley makes a little speech inspired by Eli's quote just before a fight scene in the Book of Eli. She is shot by a girl from behind before finishing it. Jeff refers to the first Disco fan as Disco Stu, a character from The Simpsons. Disco Stu's chant of "Come out and play, eh?" is a reference to the final scene from The Warriors.
The Warriors.
When Luther taunts the Warriors at Coney Island. Jeff's line, "Uh-oh, no paintball, Hans. What do you think? I'm stupid?" It's a direct reference to Die Hard when John McClane says, "Oops, no bullet. What do you think? I'm fucking stupid, Hans?" Modern Warfare first aired on NBC on May 6, 2010. It's an original American broadcast. The episode was viewed by estimated 4.35 million viewers and it scored a 2.0 rating in the 18-49-year-old demographic, according to Nielsen. The episode received much acclaim from critics. John Krakow of IGN gave the episode a 9.7 out of 10, calling it incredible. Also stating most sitcoms don't have as many water cooler moments as serialized adventures shows like Lost or 24, but I know this episode of Community will be the exception. Emily Vanderwolf of the AV Club gave the episode an A and called it one of the best episodes of TV of the season, and said it felt both very funny and very serious for including such strong character moments. In TV.com's ranking of all 110 episodes of the series, they placed the episode third overall and wrote one of the purest expressions of genre appreciation and compact sitcom storytelling that we've ever seen brought on broadcast TV in the 21st century. Modern Warfare was the first of several Community episodes centered around paintball. The second season featured paintball in A Fistful of Paintballs and For a Few Paintballs More. The finale of the fourth season, Advanced Introduction to Finality, sees the study group face off against the evil versions of themselves in a paintball match. The sixth season episode, Modern Espionage, focuses on an underground paintball match in an homage to spy films. It also received strong positive reviews. The third and fifth seasons do not contain paintball episodes, but the third season episode, Curriculum Unavailable, features a fake flashback to a paintball match with a gangster film theme. Some critics noted that the fifth season episode, Geothermal Escapism, which features a school-wide match of hot lava, had a similar spirit to a paintball episode.
Season 5, I guess you're right. It was hot lava, but it did seem a lot like paintball. You're right.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that was Troy's finale.
Right. English as a second language is the 24th and penultimate episode of the first season. It aired in the United States on NBC on May 13, 2010. In the episode, a revelation from Senor Chang threatens the study group's Spanish credit, and Choi discovers his skill at plumbing, which would come up again later on in the series. Senor Chang privately reveals to Jeff that he, like Jeff, faked his credentials and does not have a teaching degree. The conversation is inadvertently recorded by Annie, who records all classes for taking notes. When Dean Pelton finds out, Chang is replaced by Dr. Escudero, who is stricter and will make the Spanish class take a harder final exam. The class worries that they will not be able to pass the new exam. Meanwhile, Troy discovers he has a natural talent for fixing plumbing. A persistent maintenance worker urges him to use his talent to become a plumber, but Troy turns down the offers in favor of his education.
You got the talent, kid. You can do anything. You can be a plumber.
You know, TJ, from now on, you should do all reenactments.
I got you, man.
We get back to the MCU. I am Thor, damn it.
Another.
As everyone faces the fact that they will have to retake Spanish, Jeff realizes that Annie was the one who turned in Chang, as she wanted to keep the group together by keeping them in a shared class. The rest of the study group shuns her as they try to cram for the exam. Abed tries to encourage Troy to pursue plumbing, but Troy, misunderstanding, gets angry because he thinks Abed does not want him around. As the exam is about to start, Shirley gets a text from Annie who explains that she's trying to make things better with Chang. Worried about how Chang will react, the study group runs to his office where he explains that getting fired was good for him and that Annie is helping him plan a new future. After taking the exam, Troy and Abed reconcile, and the group agrees to take anthropology next year. In the end tag, the study group finds out that they all passed the Spanish finals. It is then implied that Pierce had slept with Dr. Escudero to ensure that the Spanish finals would be easy enough for everyone to pass.
Props to this is the one time that I can admit where I was proud of Pierce, because Dr. Escudero was muy caliente. That was Spanish
for muy caliente.
Fully Caliente.
The episode was written by Tim Hobart, his fifth writing credit for the show, and was directed by Gail Mancuso and her first credit for the show. In its original broadcast, the episode was watched by approximately 4.49 million Americans and achieved a 2.0 in the 18 to 49 demographic. The episode received generally positive reviews, with many critics noted the challenges of following up the previous episode. Emily Vanderwolf at the AV Club gave the episode an A-, commenting that after Modern Warfare, pretty much anything Community did would seem like a disappointment.
I feel like that should have been the finale. I mean, and I guess hindsight being what it is, you would have switched. You would have somehow switched it, but you couldn't because Modern Warfare had reference as Tu Chang as a teacher.
Right. Alan Sepinwall of Uproxx called it a more character-driven but still very funny episode, noting the nice character duet for Annie and Jeff. Like Vanderwolf, he also noted that the episode felt like a season finale, asking what exactly do Dan Harmon and company have up their sleeve for the actual finale. Well, let's find out as we get to Pascal's Triangle Revisited. It's the 25th and final episode of the first season of Community. It originally aired in the United States on NBC on May 20th, 2010. In the episode, the group gets ready to say goodbye for the summer at the end of the year dance. Britta and Professor Slater compete over affection for Jeff, while Annie considers leaving Greendale and Troy looks for a new place to live.
The tranny dance.
To celebrate the end of the school year, Dean Pelton announces the upcoming transfer formal, abbreviated to Tranny Dance. Jeff and Annie learn that Britta has been nominated for Queen of the Dance. In her therapy session with Dr. Duncan, Britta expresses doubts about the prom-like dance. Chang, now a student, asks Duncan to help him cheat in his classes. Duncan ridicules him instead. Professor Slater expresses interest in getting back together with Jeff. At a kegger hosted by Abed, Troy, looking for a place to live, gives Abed strong hints about moving in together, but Abed ignores them. Annie's boyfriend, Vaughn, tells her he's been recruited for a hacky sack team in Delaware and will be transferring. Noticing Slater's interest in Jeff, Britta decides to attend the dance. At the dance, Annie tells the group she's moving to Delaware with Vaughn for the summer, but privately tells Jeff she's transferring for good to live in the moment. Pierce invites Troy to live in his mansion, which Abed encourages because he believes being roommates with Troy would create conflict in their relationship. Shirley urges Britta to express her feelings for Jeff. Duncan tells Slater that Jeff and Britta had sex, and Slater confronts Britta. Seeing Jeff and Slater together, Britta interrupts the announcement of Tranny Queen and blurts out that she loves Jeff. Slater follows suit. Jeff is unable to pick one of them, but Duncan interrupts with a drunken rap. Chang, angry about earlier, attacks Duncan, and Jeff sneaks out of the ensuing chaos. Troy decides to accept Pierce's offer. Outside, Jeff runs into Annie, who decides not to move after all. They discuss the uncertainty of their identities and relationships, and Jeff realizes he should return to the dance to fix things. He tells Annie he's happy she's back, and they share a hug, then suddenly kiss.
We knew that was coming.
Absolutely.
We knew that was coming. I mean, it happened in the debate episode.
Right.
So, but we knew like it was coming.
So the episode was written by Hillary Winston and is her fourth writing credit for the show. It was directed by Joe Russo and his eighth directing credit for the show. During one scene, Abed attempts to recreate a scene as an homage to the finale of Cheers. Jeff greets Duncan by calling him Dudley Moore. Troy expresses his enjoyment of the Happy Days episode where they jumped the shark. When announcing the nominees for Tranny Queen, one of the names heard is Danielle Harmon, a female version of creator Dan Harmon's name. Starburns expresses support for Team Coco. Dino Stampanopoulos, who plays the character, was a writer for Late Night when Conan O'Brien hosted. Pierce calls Abed Rain Man when listing off members of the study group. All right. So in its original airing, Pascal's Triangle Revisited was seen by 4.41 million American viewers, playing fourth in its time slot behind Bones, The Mentalist, and Flash Forward. The episode received generally positive reviews from critics. Jonah Krakow of IGN gave the episode 8.8 out of 10, denoting a great episode. Emily Vanderwolf of the AV Club was more critical of the episode, giving it a B and opining that while the episode was very funny, it forces quite a bit of stuff. In a retrospective ranking of all 110 episodes of Community, Corey Barker of TV.com placed the episode 60th, remarking that it did some lovely and fun thing with the concept of the season finale and love triangles.
I mean, it did have all kind of triangles going on. You got Britta and Slater and Jeff, and then you got Vaughn and Annie and Britta and Vaughn and Delaware and Ingwe Macadang Jr. Like, it's you gotta find a way to get that name in. Ingwe Macadang Jr. You gotta find a way to get that in there, man.
But his friends call him Billy.
Right. Something that has nothing to do with that name. Awesome.
So TJ, overall, what are your overall thoughts about the first season of Community?
When it originally aired, I was not in it. I tried to watch when it originally aired and I wasn't feeling it. But then I came back several years and a lot more maturity later, and I was a big fan. I do have some highlighted seasons that highlighted episodes that I love. Obviously, Abed getting his gangster movie was a plus. Modern Warfare, high on that list as well. And then, the introduction of Chang whenever he's in class and he calls himself a Spanish genius. He's like, I'll bite you. He's like, you bit? You bit? That right there, still, it gets me cracked up every time. So, season 1, getting us started for some awesome, awesome stuff.
I agree with that. I would add one thing. We got getting rid of Britta.
Getting rid of Britta. Getting rid of the B. She's a GDB. She's
and again,
a no
folks,
good B.
Again, folks, if you just live your life like Pierce when he's just jamming out. And even later on, when when Vaughn writes the song about Pierce, he's like, I'm Pierce.
I'm Pierce.
So all of that, what is next? Well, the next episode, we will cover The Consultant as well as Marvel's The Avengers, the first Avengers movie from 2012. TJ and I will also talk about our rankings of the films of the first phase of the MCU. But after that, folks, we're diving into the series. I told TJ before we began, we're going over across the pond, as they say, to the BBC to talk about the show Sherlock. Benedict Cumberbatch, and all of that. So, TJ, up until that time, my friend, go ahead and plug anything and everything that you have.
Well, on the next FAP, I think that we should go old school a little bit and do Family Vacation. Since we can't show love to Steve Carell and Burt Wonderstone, I think that we should show a little love to Chevy. He's getting up there in age. And let's review Family Vacation. But I do have an idea for another spin because, again, we're putting all this on the Patreon. More reason for you all to go to it. I like debate shows, and I like interesting debate shows. And I think you as a moderator with me versus anybody, and the first show, Shawshank versus Forrest Gump. Who should have got Best Picture?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. But outside of that, man, if you want to see me on stage, I'll be on stage in June. If you want to see me on screen, you should be able to pull me up on some streaming platform and April for Daddy's Little Girl. Super excited for that. And, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get an invite back to the Joey Harris show. Fingers crossed, maybe I can get Nan to return my calls on another Cut the Check. My representation and her representation haven't been able to represent together. So I feel like she's been getting checks. I feel like that's why I can't reach her. Like, there's not even as much conversation in the group chat anymore. Like, I feel like she's been getting checks. I feel like we said cut the checks, and she's been getting checks.
It's funny. She said the same thing about you. She goes, TJ must be getting those checks because I haven't seen any of them yet. Folks, he does not listen. He will not want to hear it. Okay. But TJ knows he's coming up. I just put to bed episode 195 of the Joey Harris show, and he knows he's coming up on episode 200. But see, TJ wants to be also on episodes 196 through 199.
Yep. I want my fingerprint on all of it.
I have not been receiving any checks, nor any money, nor any pennies. Nothing of that.
No checks.
Zero.
So let Nan know that she's getting false informations.
All right. I will let her know that the next time that we speak. In the meantime, and in the in-between time, folks, if you're just coming across this, go ahead. We're going to hit subscribe right over there in the corner. And then click the little bell, and the little bell will tell you every time that we drop an episode. And then share it with your friends, your enemies, people you barely know. Share it. Everybody subscribe. We're trying to grow our subscriber links, and as soon as we can, we're going to do a live episode. But you got to have a certain number of subscribers before you can do a live episode. And folks, you have not seen a live episode until you've seen TJ on a live episodes, because people will ask him to do strange things for money, and TJ's not opposed to anything for money.
He's not. TJ has the price.
We just need clarification. We never did get the clarification.
We never got the clarification.
We go live. We're going to get that clarification. But
good times.
In the meantime, and in the in-between time, again, patreon.com/babykangaroo-media, joeyharriscomedy@gmail.com. If you want to email me, if I'm on social media and you're on social media, you can find me at the Joey Harris. I made it easy for you. So, TJ, thank you as always, my brother, and we will talk to you all next time.
I'm running.